And she, lied and everything, and it all came out, and I was just like, how dare you? So tell me more about birthdays.
Okay, so...
And that I'm not a cheater.
Well, so the way that you're not a cheater.
I don't think I am.
So the way that I understand it, it's like, generally, when something is popularized or commercialized, the essence of it is diluted.
Yep.
And so the way that astrology is perceived currently by like the masses really like discounts what it's
got a bad rap.
Yeah. So like what you're talking about is the sun sign.
Okay.
But whenever you get a natal chart, which is what is sort of like your cosmic thumbprint, it's plotting more than just the sun. It has like they have the personal planets, the outer planets, asteroids, and each one, like, to me, it's not that they necessarily, like, it's not like the moon is like, you know, touching you while you sleep. It's more like a readout, almost like an ingredient list of like, these are the energies that are present in the person, and this is the potential for the soul. And I've been doing it since 2017.
Okay.
Took a few 30-hour courses, like,
oh wow,
studied a lot. And then the tool that I was talking about with you was Gene Keys, which is built on top of this other astrologically based system called Human Design. And so just like with anything, it's like how you use it. So I find that with astrology and these astrologically based tools, it's like it can be an incredibly validating tool for the self, and that you're like, oh, that is hard for me. That's okay. And as soon as you accept that aspect of yourself and you stop pushing against it, you get that energy back to like embrace it and make it great, or just like
use it to your benefit.
Yeah.
Instead of to your detriment.
Yeah. So I actually
320. I finally found out 320 was when I was born. Which I don't believe my mom. I think she's wrong because I don't think that's what I knew. But that's what she said.
AM or PM?
AM.
Okay.
Sorry,
I'll look
Mom.
for you.
Is that bad? You made a face like that's bad.
No, I guess I would want to know, like, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll call her.
Yeah.
Wait, so is it bad though? I feel like
No,
you're
it's
saying
not. No,
320
it's
is
not bad
bad.
at all. No, not bad.
Would 320 in the afternoon be better?
Actually, what's so interesting though is like everything is sort of like an expression. Like, you know how Ron reads palms?
Yes.
It's
Fascinating.
It's like that, where it's like when you really look at it, it kind of makes sense.
I'm terrified. He hasn't read my palms in years.
Oh.
He did it years and years ago. You know, I've known them for a very long time. Ronald Sisman, guys, he probably has a link we should put up. Fascinating. Can be hired for events. Totally, he'll change your life. I'm scared. He's gonna, like, okay, I was kind of joking when I said I might be a serial killer, but I feel like I'm just scared. I don't know how else to explain it. I'm scared to find out something about myself that would be bad.
Well, I guess like in what I'm like several of the things you said in like this last conversation block are about like categorically good or bad, and I don't think it really is that. Like,
yeah, it's not as black and white.
Yeah.
It's just more information that you can. It's better to know more about yourself because then you can probably perform better on a day-to-day basis.
Well, even like with your friend, I'm sorry that he got cheated on, but like that experience could have shaped him in a way that was positive if he chose to interact with it as such.
Sure.
So like...
Oh, yeah. When I got cheated on, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Oh, my God, I'm finally free. I can leave. Okay. It was the worst relationship ever. Like, you didn't, you know. And then I found out he was cheating, and I was like, oh, he'll actually leave now that this is open. And it was perfect. Everyone was like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, kidding me? I got out of it. He wouldn't let me leave before. He, like, literally, I would try to break up with him, and he put a gun in his mouth, like a loaded gun in his mouth on the edge of the bed.
Oh, honey,
so I had to stay. And then find out, you're right. It was like, oh, no, you got cheated on. No, it was the best. I was like, bye. You can't hold me hostage anymore. You're a piece of garbage. So, yeah, you're right. It can't, yeah. Okay, so you're saying the more you know.
Well, I'm just saying, like, it's never the thing so much as, like, what you do with the thing.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Okay, so I need to get that out of my head. Not be scared. Why am I scared? Do I have a guilty conscience and I don't know about it? Like, why am I so terrified of this?
It might be as cute as the, like, potential thing, where it's like, are you, like, it's crazy, but it does seem like in many ways we're afraid of love because it's vulnerability. Essentially, like, it's an openness rather than a constriction, and it does generally occur to the psyche as, like, something to, like, avoid. I don't know, maybe you just love yourself more.
I love love.
Yeah.
I think deep down at my core, and this goes back to childhood, like the insecurities, even just every woman I'm sure in the world has insecurities, especially our age, because things were different then.
Yeah.
We were raised different. Like, my kids aren't, I'm breaking the cycle, as I hear all the time from moms. But that's what they say, right? So that's what I'm doing. And I'm giving my kids positive outlooks on themselves and their life, and they're going to be confident.
Yeah, that's so
confident
special. Yeah.
little girls. And they already are. God, Lincoln she'll run the world one day.
I really love how you've like created a world for them to be able to be like, I like this, I don't like this. And like I've watched Lincoln kind of like, and Sydney like sort of filter the world to be like, nah, I'm not cool with that. Like, it's like, wow, good job.
Yeah, there's space for them to, I thank you for saying that. There's space for them to make their own choices, and we try to provide that space. But I will also say, having Matt as their father is probably the best piece of the puzzle. I mean, obviously it's 50%. I'm going to get emotional. He's wonderful. He is so confident as a person, and he has lifted me up over the years. Probably is the only reason I have a lick of confidence at the moment, you know, like, so he a lot of credit to him. In life, and especially with the girls, he's like, of course you don't have to do that if you don't like, it's pretty fascinating. They're pretty lucky. We talk about luck. Pretty lucky to have him as a father. So, and I'm lucky to have him as my husband. So, yeah, I'll give a lot of credit to him. Just on the confidence front. Seriously.
Aw.
What is wrong with me? No. I'm like getting teary as we hear him on a meeting right now.
Aw. That's so sweet.
No, but really though, I mean, watch out, world. These girls are gonna blast out.
Well, what's so interesting is like
successful, hopefully.
You behave really confidently. And like you do
fake it till you make it.
Well, you do a lot of things that require confidence, and it seems natural. And so it's almost like your body is confident, but your mind says things that aren't.
1,000%.
Yeah.
And you're not the first person to tell me that.
Yeah.
I've been asked that for many years.
To paint is confidence, you know?
Fake it till you make it.
You made it.
I think so. Like,
yeah,
I've been faking it a long time. So it's no longer faking it, right? I guess.
No, it's very real.
I just am. That's not to say that I think everyone has a little bit of imposter syndrome or... Okay, that's not true. There's a lot of men out there, president being one of them. Probably does not have that at all. But I do think there are a lot of people. I mean...
If only. If only there was
1 ounce of doubt.
Self-reflection.
just a hair. One strand of hair on your head that had a little bit of...
empathy.
I was going to say so many words. That's not what we're talking about. That's all people spoke to me about on Sunday. Like, the current politics. I don't ever bring it up. With art, I don't bring it up. There's a lot of Republicans that like art, a lot of Democrat, a lot of independent. I don't talk about it. I just don't. I only talk about it with people that I know and that I care, like, that I know. Even neighbors and stuff, I don't really talk about. Sunday, it was like, everyone left and right was like, and if I see a sign, and I was like, I think they were feeling me out, maybe. I'm like, do I give
a sign? Which sign?
A Trump sign. If they see a woman, my fast friend, Fran.
Oh, Fran.
Fast friend, Fran. Tongue twister. She was like,
have her on the show.
I would love that. I love her. She said that they had to sell her mother's house in 2017. Interestingly enough, you brought that year up earlier. The house that she grew up in, and it was really hard and emotional. And her brother, she goes, I want to buy it. It's unrealistic for her to own 2 homes. But of course, the emotional, she grew up there. She said, you know what? I don't care. I just feel like if I drive by here in a few years and I see a Trump sign on this porch, I'm going to knock on that door. I am not going to be okay with that. And I was like, tell me more, Fran. I mean, I should have known San Francisco, but yeah. A lot of people were talking about it. I don't know if people are just being more vocal these days.
Well, I think that I never touched politics before.
Sure.
But I do now.
Yeah. Apparently you've been trolling.
Do
you have a burner account?
I did troll today.
Wait, today? I thought you were retiring from that.
Well, I couldn't help it. I happened to see... What I came to is that I'm not in the business of convincing anybody anything. Mm-hmm. you cannot change a faith-based conviction.
Sure.
That's God's work, you know?
Yep.
So all I'm doing is basically adding to kind of like the collective voice of like, oh fuck no.
You're tipping the scale, even if it's only a hair in comparison to the numbers. You're putting it out into the zeitgeist that's already existing.
Yeah, I'm just sort of saying like, you know, this is where I am. And like not trying to tell anybody else to come where I am. I'm just sort of saying like, you know, behold. But yeah, I did comment on something today. I was really polite. A woman said a bunch of stuff that wasn't accurate, and so I just said, no, I don't think that's right.
Here's some links to real websites. Snopes says that that's a lie. Right? Snopes, isn't that the
Yeah,
fact?
that's one.
Yeah. Okay. You and everyone down at Disco, I came in later, so you all had a pre-established history that I knew nothing about. So I'm going to ask one question about that. Everyone that I know that knows you, you get along with, that I know of. Like, everybody, nothing but, as I said earlier, positive things to say. What do you do in a scenario? And it doesn't have to be anything that happened actually there, but in your life, what do you do when you do not get along, when there is a controversy? How do you act? How do you play it? Do you go head on? Is it circumstantial, which I'm sure it is? But what are you like in a fight, in a controversy, in a disagreement? What do you like?
Well, first I was confused, because I was like, wait, what? I tend toward harmony, and it doesn't make sense to me to have a problem when there isn't one.
1,000%. He's got that kind of energy.
Yeah.
Who wants to live there?
So generally, I start with sort of like a check for understanding, where I try to reflect back, like, this is what I'm